Today's a big day for me. I'm going to install my motorcycle luggage. What I'm going to be installing today is this luggage right here, which is made by Shad. The back box is a 59-liter, I think, case, and it's adjustable, like it's expandable 3 times up, so it gets bigger, bigger, bigger. It's graphite on the top, graphite, composite graphite or something, looks cool. The side boxes are smaller. They're Shad, they're only 23 liter. Shad makes like a 36 liter, I think, but they open from the side. These open from the top, which I like better. It's unfortunate that they don't come in the graphite composite on the top. I think maybe the bigger ones do. I'm not real sure. So I laid everything out here. That's kind of how I do things, so that I can see what I have, what we're working with. One thing I don't like is they don't say whether the top mount thing's supposed to go on first, which is right there, or the side mounts, but just by reading the instructions, I gathered the top is going to go first and the sides will be incorporated with that. Packaging was excellent. I mean, they've got so much bubble wrap and crap all over these parts. I was happy to see that. First step, remove the seat. Easy enough. Take your key, pop it off. I'm sure there's already been enough comments made about my sheepskin, so save those comments, fellas and ladies. Next, we're going to take this off. It's a 4mm Allen. There's rubber bushings right here holding it in. We'll just pull it off like that, delicately. And there's also one right here in the back. So, easy. These are the parts that are in the grommet. Like I said, there's 3. 1, 2, and then there's 1 right here. 3. Unfortunately, our little tie-down buttons here have to be removed. It will require a 6mm Allen tool. Remove both sides. Now I'm going to remove this bottom plate. It's required for the top box mounting kit. I'm not sure if it comes with a side kit if you don't get the top kit, because I purchased it all together. And this step is not in the instructions, but I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to remove this, get it out of my way so I can access these screws easier. That was a 10mm socket I used to remove this. These are the 4 screws right here that we need to access. 1, 2, 3, 4. The tool I'm using is a 5mm Allen. They make better tools. If you have them, that's cool. I just simply do not. I didn't see this in the instructions, but there is one Phillips head screw that's holding this bracket onto the light assembly. So I'm going to remove that. Oh, she just fell out. Interesting, none of this stuff is in the instructions, but we're going to have to remove these wires. These connectors, you just squeeze them together and pull them apart. You'll have to snake your wires out of the brackets there. This is what I was after right here, and this part in particular. You need to change these over to the new bracket that I have, and I'll show it to you. This is our new bracket. This is our old bracket. We need to put the reflectors on here. Use an 8mm socket or wrench to get the reflectors off. This bracket that was held on with this one screw, I thought it had to be removed in order to get this bracket off. I think I was wrong. I think it was just the wires holding it on. So I'm going to put the bracket on right now and put this screw in it to hold it in place. I dare say that's even the purpose of that screw, is to hold that bracket in place. So I made a little mistake, no big deal. Next step, we got 8 of these spacers. 4 of them go here. 1, 2, anyways you get it 4. Then this will go on top of it, and these wires will go through that hole, that big hole right there like that, and you will put 4 more spacers on top of this, raise it up, and then we are going to install the longest screws supplied with the deal and a washer on each one, bolt it down from the top. A close-up illustration, if you will. Again, the washers are up here, spacers that is, and then there's some below this metal bracket. And I will now tighten up the 5mm head screws that are up here. See, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Brackets tightened up, wires are all neatly put back where they belong. Now I'm going to put this part back on and bolt it down. That might have been a mistake. You're not supposed to tighten any bolts up until it's all together, then tighten them up. But I don't think it's going to matter. I'm going to leave it because that bracket didn't have any movement in it. Anyways, the rest of the bolts I will leave loose until I get it all assembled, then tighten them up. For now, I'm going to abandon the top bracket because I think that's the best thing to do. The first thing in the instructions to do on these side brackets is to remove these 2 bolts and discard them. These require a 6mm Allen tool. Hey, by the way, when I say discard, I'm being dramatic. You need to save all this stuff. Who knows, you might want to put it back one day like it was. A bolt right here on each side that needs to be removed. 5mm tool required. Oh, and a little strength. Longest one of your bolts, big flat washer, and longest spacer. Here's your bracket. Your spacer will go right here. Bolt under here. And install it where we just removed that little bolt. I'm leaving it loose. Shortest bolt with big flat washer will go right here. It makes sense because we have a bracket here. We need to take up the space over here, and we will do that with this smallest bushing. These 2 medium screws, and they have smaller washers to fit inside the holes of your foot peg mount. Now time to go around the other side and do the same thing. Moving on to the top bracket again, this bolt will need to be removed. I should not have installed that. The bolt and washer you need come with the top bracket kit. It's a lot longer because you need this, then you need a bushing, so it'll fit like that. And there are 2 bushings. We're going to pick the shorter one because I'm using the side brackets and the top brackets. So there's 2 brackets, you'll need a shorter bushing. And I'll do the same to the other side. Next, this little setup right here. 5mm on the top, 13mm nut, a washer on each end, and it'll go right here behind the reflector. The nut and washer go on the bottom. Same on the other side. This platform comes assembled, so there's 4 screws we need to remove before we can secure it to the mounting brackets. On this situation, they make all kind of different bracket configurations. So there's all kinds of different mounting stuff that they give you. You'll have to look in the instructions. There's like 3 or 4 different ways. So these are the ones that fit with my big case. I think it's a 59 liter. And then I'll put them in here. And they're 8mm bolts. So the bolts came with the upper mounting kit, but the brackets came with the box and this part right here. And this time when I'm saying 8mm bolt, it's an actual 8mm bolt, not the head of the bolt, not the tool size. Time now to snug all this mess down, tighten it up real good. I'm just going to start from the front and pull it and move it around where I like it, tighten it up and move back. Everything's tightened up in place where I want it. You need to install this cover. You need to tilt it in like this and then snap it down because it has these little retainers on it. And then your 4 screws. Very carefully reinstall your back cowling. You don't want any mishaps at this point in the game. And so it will be aesthetically pleasing for this video. I have temporarily removed my sheepskin cover, which I do love. Now let's see how these puppies fit on there. This will be my first time trying them on. Like so. Not sure how we lock them on there. I was going to install my side cases. They wouldn't lock on. I couldn't figure it out. And the side cases came with this, which replaces these on the end with one screw. So I need to change these out real quick. Now with the right brackets installed, let's try it again. This is still the first time putting these on. They're locked on. Locked. Unlock so that you can get in it. It's still in there. Then there's a button inside you press to release. I'll show you. So you open it up, and right here is a button or something. You know, you pull it back. That releases it. Pick it up. Here's a handle on the back. Check that out. So you can just carry them away like so. I like that. So then put it back. Let's see. You just, you know, this is my second time doing this, so pull it back. It says here press, which I'm just holding it down. They're a little tight, but look at that. And then if you want, got my key in my pocket, you can lock them up. Now you're all locked. So a view with both of them on. They look pretty good if you ask me. Not too big and wide, like I said. I didn't want them real big. And the other side gives you kind of a idea of the size of the boxes. I hope. I'm trying to. They look pretty good. I like it. The back top box will snap in on this right here, like so. You know, you get it up in those hooks, and then it'll snap down. I understand the theory of it, but I haven't done it. A little further away view, if you want to carry this box off, stick the key in, open, go to open, push it in, your handle, turn it one more time, you're now released. Take your handle off, box comes off, sweet. She's on the bike, you got to get something out from inside of it, but you don't want it off the rack. Key in, turn, open, right here, you squeeze it, and you're open. If this key is in the open position, which is right here, then you don't need it to open the box. See, it's locked on your rack, but you don't need it to open your box. I like that. I like that feature. But if you want to lock it, put it to close. Now she locked up. So take a quick look from the side view of this top box, and it's a 58. I thought it was a 59. I think the only difference is like the color. Maybe the 59's black. I can't remember. Maybe it's silver. Anyways, I got one more thing to show you. This box expands. Trying to give you the best view here. If you want a bigger box, all you have to do is pull these on the sides like that. And there are different settings that you can raise this box to. That's the highest setting right there. Check that out. Now I'll give you a side view again. Now you can see how much bigger the box is and how much more room you have to put things in this box. One other thing I like is, see, I have a little room here in the back of the seat. Also, they make a pad that fits back here, a backrest for your passenger, and I am considering that because I do have a little feller that likes to ride with me sometimes, and also the little woman might like to also go for a ride every now and then, so I might do that. There it is, my Z and/or Z900RS with the Shad Luggage tour pack on it. I really do like it. So far, my first impressions, this is a good deal. I like this luggage. It was really expensive, but Hepco Becker was really expensive that I purchased, and I was not as pleased with that as I am with this product, first impression. So we'll see how this holds up and how much I like it. But so far, it looks like a really nice kit here. So I did have an issue I didn't notice, and if you'll see there, this is hitting this when I go to open it. So I'm going to take the 2 bolts off of this top bracket and try and slide it back some. I'll loosen them and try and slide it back. I don't think that's going to fix the problem. I think it might help it, and then I may have to shim this plate under here. So I've made these shims and they're angled. If you can see, they're tapered. The ideal here is to tilt that box a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. And that should give me more clearance here to open the tops. There's a view of the tapered shims. I hope you guys can see that. In addition to the shims, I put 1 flat washer right there underneath that bracket to raise the top box bracket up just a hair. With those alterations, here's what I've got. The 1 washer and the shims put me right here, and I've got about just 1/8 of an inch clearance, which is enough that they don't hit. I'm happy with that. That'll work. Something I wanted to mention, Shad does give you a lock cylinder. The reason for that is because the keys are different for the side boxes and for the top box. What I find a little funny about that is this is the side box, the side case key, and this is the back top box key. Look what much better quality this key is. I would have just liked to seen all the lock cylinders be equal quality, like the top box. The side box locks are not as good as the top box locks, and the cylinder they give you match the side box. Shad does provide a video on how to change that lock cylinder out, so I'm not going to show that. Just look it up. It's really easy to look up, and they have good detailed instructions on that. I may or may not change out my top box lock cylinder. If somebody wants my dirty underwear, dirty clothes, etc., then they're going to get them no matter what kind of lock's on it. Shad makes a lot of different luggage combinations. Why did I choose the ones that I chose? I chose the smaller side boxes. The reason why is because I'll mostly be using those. The top back box will mostly not be on my motorcycle. So I don't want them real wide, I don't want them real big, because I'm only going to be riding within, an hour or 2 of my house most of the time, generally speaking. They also open from the top. They're a top load box, which I prefer over the ones that open from the side. That's just my personal preference. The reason I went with the biggest case for the back is because when I do travel, I'll have the biggest case on there. I'll generally keep it off of the motorcycle, but if I want to go for a camping trip, or I want to go traveling or touring around the world, if you will, so to speak, then I want this big box, the biggest one I can get, so I can load her up. And most of the time, it's not going to be on my bike. But it'll be nice to have all that extra room when I do go traveling. That's the reason I picked what I picked. Everybody will have to decide for themselves what they need on their motorbike. That's it for this one, guys. I'm sure there'll be a lot of different opinions on what I had to say about this luggage kit. So I look forward to reading all the comments and seeing what everybody has to say about this setup. You may have noticed I did add some accessories to this motorcycle. Video coming up on that soon. Thanks everybody for watching. This is the one and only infamous Kentucky Yankee, without a doubt, signing off.